On 13th December, two individuals breached the security of India's Lok Sabha, jumping into the chamber from the visitors' gallery, releasing yellow smoke, and shouting slogans against dictatorship. This breach raises concerns about the effectiveness of Parliament's security measures, especially considering the fortified security in place since the 2001 terrorist attack. The lapse occurred during the personal screening of visitors, where traditional metal detectors failed to detect plastic or rubber items hidden in shoes. The responsibility for security lies with the Ministry of Home Affairs, prompting questions about the introduction of advanced screening technology. The article suggests forming a committee for enhanced security measures.
India's defense procurement, particularly the Medium Multi-Role Combat Aircraft (MMRCA) program, faces challenges due to budget constraints. The MMRCA, dubbed the mother of all procurements, initially aimed at 126 aircraft with a $10 billion budget in 2007, but only 36 Rafale jets were purchased a decade later. With the Indian Air Force's squadron strength at an abysmal 32, concerns arise over defense preparedness. The article questions whether affordable defense or affordable effectiveness should drive budget allocations. Despite the need for modernization, India's defense budget has remained stagnant, and a judicious assessment is required to balance indigenous development and imports.
The Supreme Court of Colorado has ruled that former President Donald Trump cannot run for office in the 2024 presidential election, citing his alleged involvement in 6 January 2021 Capitol attack. In a 4-3 split decision, the court invoked Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, barring individuals engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the U.S. Constitution from holding public office. The ruling signifies a historical precedent for disqualifying a presidential candidate and reflects the deep polarization in U.S. politics. Trump's potential inability to compete in Colorado further highlights the divisive nature of his political stance and its impact on democratic discourse.
Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi easily won re-election with 89.6% of the votes in December 10 to 12th elections, securing his rule until 2030. Facing little-known candidates and a barred opponent, Sisi's victory reflects the typical outcome for sitting presidents in Egypt. Despite presenting himself as a source of stability, Sisi must now address economic challenges, including 35% hyperinflation and a $162.9 billion external debt, 40% of GDP. The aftermath of Israel's war on Gaza poses further complexities, as Sisi navigates between condemning the bombardment and avoiding actions that could jeopardize peace with Israel. Managing economic crisis amid regional turmoil poses a significant governance challenge.
The recent extreme rainfall in South Tamil Nadu has shifted the region from a northeast monsoon deficit to a 5% excess within a day. The article discusses the concept of shifting baselines, highlighting how distorted memories of past conditions affect our perception of losses and resources. It emphasizes the importance of an official vocabulary, officialese, to translate knowledge into actionable policies, especially in the context of climate change. The need for updated and localized officialese is crucial for understanding and responding to evolving challenges, ensuring effective communication and accountability in the face of unprecedented events like heavy rainfall.
The Congress party in Karnataka faces internal pressure from powerful caste lobbies opposing the acceptance of the socio-economic and educational survey, caste census, conducted in 2015. Despite the National Party's commitment to undertaking a caste census if voted to power in 2024, it struggles in Karnataka, where the census was conducted during the previous Congress government, and the report is yet to be released. Powerful Vokkaliga and Veershaiva Lingayat communities are pressuring the government to reject the unscientific census, fearing a decrease in their perceived population figures. The issue highlights internal party divisions and the challenge of balancing caste interests.
The Reserve Bank of India's December bulletin suggests that in India, inflation is typically influenced by supply-related factors, but during the Russia-Ukraine conflict in 2022, demand factors played a predominant role. The article analyzes data from January 2019 to May 2023, indicating that supply-side factors accounted for about 55% of the Consumer Price Index (CPI) headline inflation, particularly during the pandemic and the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Demand-side factors, which decreased during the COVID-19 crisis, intermittently increased after the waves, contributing to the peak in headline inflation in April 2022, with a 31% contribution over the entire period.
The 28th session of the Conference of the Parties, COP, in Dubai resulted in several significant outcomes. The Loss and Damage (LD) Fund, initiated at COP27, was operationalized, but only $790 million has been pledged so far, falling short of the required $100 billion to $400 billion annually. The COP28 featured the first global stocktake, GST, with commitments to transition away from fossil fuels, triple renewable energy capacity, and address methane pollution. India did not sign the Climate and Health Declaration and the Global Methane Pledge. Challenges remain, including fossil fuel subsidies and market mechanisms.